We're back. I'm here with UndeadBrock. Say hi, Brock, the world champion.
What's up? How's it going? So
Oh,
funny.
bro, nothing, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. Your rain is funny. All right, how's that?
My rain.
Your rain is funny.
I represent your company, buddy.
That's true. You do represent my company. That's true. You are our world championship. It's been a minute. How are you doing, man? You got anything going on with you right now? You kind of want to dive into first? You just want to kind of jump into what I had little.
Um, I'm just chilling like a villain, man. This is actually my first time doing one of these ever.
I know
Like
it's crazy, right? How long have I been trying to convince you for?
5 years.
Five.
That's what
What
it
the?
felt. That's what it felt like.
It's your fault for saying yes every time and then ignoring me every time I brought it up.
I don't know what you're talking
Bro,
about.
every time I hit this man up, like you trying to do an interview, he was like, "Yeah, sure, we could do it at this time." And I'm like, "Cool." That time came, I hit him up, and I get fucking ghosted. And then the next day when he talks to me, he just never brings it up. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, today I kind of caught his ass in a good mood, I guess, because we're sitting in the call or whatever, and I'm like, "Hey, Brock, you busy?" And he was like, I guess not." I was like trying to do this fucking interview, and after like 10 minutes of pondering, he decided to do it. So now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here.
Good stuff, man. You said that you were chilling like a villain, which is obviously funny because right now you're probably one of UXW's biggest heels. But that wasn't always the case, right? It was a very big moment in terms of heel turns that kind of sent
Yeah,
your career in a completely different direction. You
yeah,
wanna,
yeah.
anyone who doesn't realize what we're talking about, it's when he heel turned on Dewey. I believe that won a moment. Yeah, I think that won something, right, in the year end awards for like biggest OMG moment or some shit like that.
I
Because
believe it did.
it just caught people so off guard. So why don't you go into that, Brock? Like, what was going through your mind? Because you told me you weren't gonna heel turn on him. You told him you weren't gonna heel turn on him.
Listen, man. We were the tag champs. We had no competition, and you know that there's not really many tag teams
I
in
was working on it.
UXW.
I was working on it.
So we decided that we're gonna call it quits on the tag team for now. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
come back to it in the
Mm-hmm.
future. And I think I was gonna give up my side of the titles and give it to someone whose name will not be mentioned
Hey,
because
we're
I
cool
don't know if
now.
I should say.
She got unredacted. You can say it.
Okay, I was gonna give it to Lauren so they can do their little thing, but after that, Dewey was, making that heartfelt promo, man. Just
It was
very
such a
beautiful.
good promo, bro. He was hyping
Very
you
beautiful.
up.
I know, man. And I basically just crushed everyone's hopes and dreams. That's pretty much what I did. That's just a nice
Oh,
way of saying
it was so fucking disrespectful, man. You know what was even more disrespectful? You said nice words back. Like you
I
returned
know.
it. And you didn't even everyone was like, he's gonna heel turn, he's gonna heel turn. And you didn't do
Nah,
anything. You
didn't.
waited until he was just about to step out of the ring and then you fucking hit him with the pedigree in the middle of the ring. And everybody was like, oh my fucking god. Bro,
I
I
didn't even say anything. I didn't do
he
anything
didn't
after that.
he just looked around at the crowd and just walked out.
I looked at his corpse in the ring. I looked at the crowd. I don't owe anybody an explanation of why I did that. I still don't.
And we thought that shit was over too, and then Lauren comes out to like ask you like what the fuck is going on. You hit her with one too.
Hey, man, get out of my way.
Yeah, Brock's all about that equality, isn't he? Man
Yeah,
or woman can get the smoke, huh?
exactly.
Yeah, I don't. You didn't even really explain your actions the next week. You just kind of came out and talked shit to Dewey and said that you were gonna go after Steven. So
Hey, man.
I'm not saying that we're owed an explanation, but I think about a little over a year later, it'd be nice to know why.
Why?
Yeah, why'd you heel turn on him? Why couldn't you have just
Listen,
walked out
man.
and gone after the world title on your own?
Nah, man. I gotta send a message to the back to the locker room. I had to send a message to Steven that I'm not some Mr. Nice Guy, no goody two shoes over here. I'm the real thing. So I did what I did at the courtesy of Dewey, which is unfortunate for him, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I
He
mean?
didn't know that was gonna happen either. Like he thought y'all were cool.
Yeah, well, you
Oh
know what?
man,
It's okay. It's okay. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. We're both champions.
you're both world champions now. Yeah,
Oh, mhm.
I'm gonna break kayfabe a little bit here and just kind of like show, just talk a little bit about what happens behind the scenes. Uh, Dewey said that I think it was at Blackout, right? He said at Blackout that if he won his match and you won the World Heavyweight Championship, that he wanted to kind of come out and have a like that Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit moment. And when I told you that, Brock started fucking laughing his ass off. And he's like, "I'm gonna fucking heel turn on him again if he does that shit."
Told you I'm not some goody two shoes
Oh
anymore,
my
man.
god, bro. Do you know how fucking terrible that would have been if you did that shit a second time when he's trying to have an emotional moment with
Listen,
you?
man, it happens once, shame on me. But if you do it twice, shame on you.
All right, let me ask you, like hypothetically speaking, if that did happen and he came out, would you have done him dirty like you did the first time and like initially react like you were gonna accept his embrace and be cool with him and then hit him?
Honestly, I, hmm, yeah, I probably would have hit him,
You're
or
fucking.
I would have walked away.
That's funny as hell. Yeah. Well,
Because
Brock's. So you mentioned
the
before,
thing is,
huh?
what before you move on, it's
Yeah, yeah.
the thing is, I would not have came out to do that during his match, like after his match. But if he came out during or after my match, after I won the title, trying to take my spotlight, that's not happening.
That's one of your closest friends, bro. Like you don't want to share even with him.
I don't share nothing, man.
I'm fucking dead. So you said before, you said before when you were kind of going over why you heel turned on Dewey that you wanted to send a message to Steven. That was a very long build up, right? Like you had kind of a long, even in your first try, right? Like your build up to homecoming and to get to Steven, that took a while. That was like what, 4 months, right
I
before you
think
got your
so.
first shot.
Yeah, it took a while.
So how did you feel homecoming night going into the match? You know, you had your Terminator entrance. The cutscene hit. It did a little searching, target identified GUI. Everyone saw you come out on the thing, holding the Terminator head with your armor. How were you feeling coming out, bro? Like, were you feeling confident that you were gonna walk away with the championship? Because I just remember that being like such a big moment in UXW history. You know?
Yeah, during the entrance, which typically I like to show off with the entrances I do at
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. Sometimes I won't do it if I don't care that much or if I can't think of anything, but most of the time I am one of those people that care about like the entrances, the attires, the cosmetics. I like to look good out there, you know what I mean? Which I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's not that important if you look at it, but I mean it's more fun for me
Yep.
in that aspect. So yeah, I felt like a damn warrior out there, man. Like that that arena, dude, that you built, that venue. Was it like a coliseum,
Yeah, it
or was
was.
it
It was
just?
fucking huge. It was
Yeah,
like a kind of futuristic coliseum in a way. Yeah.
yeah. I felt good coming out, and then we had the face off with him and his little Doomslayer stuff. So we had fucking Doomslayer and Terminator basically locking eyes against each other, and
That shit was
yeah,
sick, bro. I still have a picture of that, man. Like we kept all of those pictures from both homecoming night 1 and night 2 because that was one of like the biggest moments, bro. I'd say the stare down between you and Steven was the number one. And then after that it was Rudy's demon entrance because nobody thought that he was gonna do that at like a small indie fed at the time.
yeah, yeah,
Um that was sick, bro. And I know you obviously came up short, right? But I think in that point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, Steven hadn't lost it yet at that point.
No, he
You were
had.
both undefeated going into it. And Steven has never had anybody get more than one fall on him before that point. But it was
Really?
5-3 when you got him. So you came the closest out of anybody at that point in time. Um
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't. I think I told you I wasn't feeling it that night. I don't know. Like sometimes I'm just not feeling it when I'm out there in the ring. Like something just doesn't feel right. I don't feel comfortable or something like that, and it
yeah.
still happens today. Like in other feds, one specifically, I'm in a bit of a slump, and I have been for like a month or two now, and it's hard out there, man. It's hard in these streets, man. It's
Yeah,
driving me
man,
crazy.
I know. I know. And you were in a little bit of a slump after that for a while. Like you were undefeated and then after that I think you lost two in a row.
Yeah,
And then
man.
you had to take a little break, kind of get your bearings, and you came back like a couple weeks before Danger, and you had the match to crown the inaugural Freedom Championship, which is like right now it's like our staple mid card championship.
Yeah.
Um, how was that for you? Like just kind of going from the world championship scene, being undefeated, looking like the favorite to beat Steven, and then he wins, and now you won and you're holding this mid card championship. Like how did that feel for you? Because I know you're like a big time guy. You want to be the guy in the Fed.
Um, it was hard at first. I mean, I've taken breaks before in the past, and most of the time I did come back pretty strong after them. But that initial feeling when you lose a big match like that you've been looking forward for like months and just felt so good, and then it all crumbles down on you in an instant. Um, it's a horrible feeling. I really thought about like if I wanted to keep doing this or not, and I still do feel that way sometimes. Because I mean, I'm not getting any younger over here.
Yep.
I can't really click and swing my mouse as good as these other guys, But
Mm-hmm.
um, I came back because I knew I still had something in me because I don't like to be compared to these other like
Yeah, like the
quote unquote
Damons and the
legends.
Isaacs and all of them. And I mean, they're the more the modern day legends, but you go way back before that. But yeah, continue.
But even like the older guys like
Yeah.
uh, Sonic and Hub,
Yeah.
like I want to prove that I still have it,
Yeah.
and I feel like I do. Like I have my good days and my bad days, but I feel like I can still hang when I really want to. So winning that Freedom Championship, I didn't mind. I don't mind mid card titles. I really don't, because like you say, the champion doesn't make the wrestler. The wrestler makes the championship.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
wanted to do that, and that's why I never mind like going for mid card belts or anything, because I can make the most out of it. So it felt really good to win that, especially with it being like a new championship.
Yep.
So I could really like elevate that shit,
Mm.
and yeah, I felt like it's what I needed honestly to get myself up on
You
my
just
feet
needed
again.
like a moment to kind of ground yourself and reset. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you were really good as a Freedom Champion, too. Like you were real fun to watch. And you did elevate that belt because at Wicked Tides 2, your defense against Trunks, one, that match was fucking phenomenal. It's one of the best matches we've ever had in UXW. your
Yeah,
your entrance was fucking awesome, right? The Godzilla entrance. You came out with the
yeah,
Ghidorah armor and the electricity and all that shit.
yeah. That's
And
one of my favorites,
yeah,
honestly.
and that match had like really big stakes too. Like people were invested and they were paying attention because you had elevated
Hmm.
that belt so much and you were just kicking ass. And Trunks was kind of coming in a hot streak, but nobody thought that he would be able to hang with you. So going into that match, you lost by one fall, right? It was a very, very close match. You guys were tying back and forth. You were clutching on each other. You were going back and forth. I think at one point, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, he had two falls on you and you tied it up afterward.
I think
Um,
so.
what was that like for you being in that match? Just kind of comparing it to Steven, right? When you were at homecoming against Steven and you were the favorite to win, and then he beat you for the world championship, right? He retained. To coming into this, having the crowd on your side this time, even though like you were the favorite before, but this time like the crowd wanted you to win, they wanted you to be the guy, and having a guy like Trunks who he's on a hot streak and he just refused to stay down. How was that match for you? Like, what was your mindset in that match? How were you feeling about it?
Um, again, during the entrance, which is probably my favorite entrance in UXW history. And overall, I'd say top. I want to say top three, because I am a huge Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
Some
How
some
many
people
months
might
did we spend arguing about Godzilla versus Kong in the lead up to that?
a lot,
We
and it was
still
all worth
argue
it in
about it
the end.
now. We still fucking
Yeah,
argue
it
about
was
it
all
now,
worth
even
it
after
in
the
the end.
movie.
It was all worth it in the end because my boy won.
I have
But
nothing to
that's
say. Kong was
we
fine. He was taking a nap. He's good.
no monkey was dead. But you know what? That we're gonna move on from that. But yeah, I felt really good doing my entrance, obviously, because I
Yep.
mean, it's like a confidence booster for anybody, really. But during the match, I felt a lot better than I did against Steven.
Hmm.
But the problem was, I think I felt a little too good
Yeah, like you felt like
because
there was
I
no
was
way you're
not.
gonna win. Oh, no way you're gonna lose.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't expect Trunks to do as well as he did because I mean, I don't feel like he trains or like anything like that. But he did for this match
Oh, he did.
specifically.
Yeah, he went hard.
This match specifically, he did, and he brought the fight to me. But I made sure to bring it back to him. And I don't know, man. Like I feel like I could put on a good match with just about anybody.
Yep.
Um, if you made me fight like I don't know a broomstick, I'd have a good match with the broomstick. I feel like. But he won, and I honestly didn't feel too bad about it. Because if I was gonna lose to anybody, I think I'm glad it was gonna be Trunks
Yeah.
because he did deserve it. He does deserve it, and he proved why he deserved it. I mean, he was a good champion.
Yeah,
Um,
he was a great champion.
yeah, I didn't care too much because I knew I could move on to bigger and better things and get another shot at what I've been aiming at this whole time,
Yep.
the world championship. So yeah, it felt good, man. It felt good.
Yep. So for you, kind of like, going from a heartbreaking loss to Steven to losing a championship that you elevated to kind of like the top level of the mid card, you know, we move on to Blackout. UXW was ending at Wicked Tides too. I couldn't do it anymore because of school and everything like that. Blackout's coming up. I found some time. I'm able to kind of make this happen again. And it was originally just supposed to be one show. Like UXW wasn't going to be coming back permanently. But
Yeah,
after that, it just kind of the support that we got for Blackout. I mean, I was like, shit, I have to fucking make time now. Going into Blackout, you really kind of got fucked over. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to you for that because I tried my best, but there was really nothing I could do about it.
yeah,
For people who don't know the situation, um, Brock was originally scheduled to face Dustin for the World Heavyweight Championship. Dustin was telling me all throughout the time that he was going to show up. He told me 2 nights before the event that he would have what he wants for his entrance done by the next day. The next day, the night before the event, he said he just needed a little bit more time. He was still thinking about what he wanted for his entrance, and then the day of, he was like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm not showing up."
yeah.
It kind of gave me a
It's pretty
bullshit
fucked up.
reason. So yeah, exactly. So the day of the event, I had to kind of scramble to find Brock an opponent. And this whole time, Brock was getting mentally and physically ready to face Dustin. Kind of doing his homework. Paying attention to Dustin, and that was his guy. And I had to get him a different opponent the same night. So Rudy stepped up. Not Rudy. Rudy was gonna step up. He was the one I asked first, but he couldn't because of time zone differences, which I understand.
Yeah,
Um, and then Kevin dropped his underground championship, KB Orton, and stepped up. Um, and it's one of those things, guys. Like I can say personally, like from doing Raw MMA, it does make a big difference when you have a mindset towards one specific person and you're training to beat that one specific person. And then to have that like just switched out on you the day of, like that just throws everything out of whack. um and you were in a
yeah,
first to 10 match. and you ended up losing. How was that match for you? Because it was a rough match, and you two were playing so fucking dirty.
Listen, man. Yeah, like you said, it does make a difference. And for me, especially in that match, fighting KB Orton to somebody else would be like, oh, he's just an old timer. He's not gonna do anything. He doesn't wrestle or anything. But yeah, I understand.
Yep.
But he is a good pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I still think he's good. And the bigger problem is me and him have fought each other so many damn times
Yeah.
that we read each other like a fucking book. So we know what we're gonna do to each other.
Yep.
So that's what makes it worse. He knows what I'm gonna do to him.
Yeah. It's like
But
not
meanwhile, like
only.
someone like Dustin, someone
Yep.
I don't even fight that much, he's not gonna know anything. And
Yeah.
so yeah, like we read each other like a book. We're like our rivals pretty much. And we had a falls count anywhere, first to 10. Um, I felt I felt all right during the match. Like I was there to win, you know. I
Yeah.
had music in my fucking ears playing, man. I don't fight a match without music because like I can't sit there listening to like nothing and clicking my mouse and shit. It's like no, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable for me. I have to have something to motivate me. And we fought all over the arena. I'd say that we are two dirty wrestlers.
Oh fuck yeah!
Dirty
You both
tactics were
fucking so
used.
dirty, bro.
I mean, it's 500 IQ if you think about it. Like, I feel like no ego or anything, but I feel like I am one of the smartest pro wrestlers like today ever,
I'd agree.
probably.
Your ring IQ is insane, and I'm gonna
Like,
get to that because I have a fucking gripe to pick with you. But yeah,
yeah,
continue.
don't worry, man. I got like a bunch of examples to pull out too. So yeah, we fought around the arena. I lost like I don't even remember what the score was.
10-6.
I think I had six, yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm like, well, what the fuck, man?
Yep.
Like, what the fuck do I do now? I just lost my second chance. I was expecting somebody else. I'm back
Yep.
at the bottom, back at the start. I don't know what the fuck to do now.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know, man.
And you kind of lucked out though. Like the cards like really fell in your place. Because obviously, like I've said in previous interviews, I think number one contenders matches are the stupidest fucking thing. Because that's how
Hmm.
you get people who don't deserve a title shot to have a title shot. I know when someone's ready. I book the shows. I host the shows. I know kind of who's in that skill level. Um, and I mean, people say like, oh, you can be biased. That's true. A lot of Fed owners can be biased, but I mean, I've showed in the past that even if I don't fucking like somebody, if they work their ass off, they're gonna get their shot. Um,
Yeah,
and for you, it was kind of like you got fucked over seriously. You know what I mean? You got thrown for a curve. You worked super hard, and just to have it all flip on you at the last second, like that wasn't fair to you. So, Brock was gonna get a he was gonna get his rematch at day zero originally, or we didn't know it was day zero at that point. It was just whatever pay per view came after Danger. But and Rudy was gonna get his shot at Danger itself, but Rudy couldn't come again because of the time slot issues. So Brock stepped up, and you finally fucking captured that belt that you've been chasing for so long. You
yeah,
know,
man. And I did it in a dominant fashion. I'd like to
yeah, you
clarify
swept
that.
him. You swept him.
I I wanted to show
Or
what like how
yeah,
badly I wanted this, man.
yeah, you did, and you fucking got it, bro. And I know it's weird because I felt like it should have been far more emotional than it actually was. Because you won the belt, you won it in dominating fashion, but I don't know, it might just be for me as an outsider kind of watching. It might have been different for you, but I felt like your win at day zero just meant so much more than your win at Danger.
Yeah, I think it did too.
Yeah, because I think at Danger it was kind of like you won it, and that was a great moment. But I think kind of like the question that was going through everybody's heads
It's
comparing
good.
that match to Blackout exactly was that whether or not you'd be able to keep that going, and if you would just drop it back to him at the next pay per view, and you didn't. You had a very dominant showing at day zero too, and you had a really fucking awesome entrance. It was a very cinematic pay per view. You did your
Hmm.
little whisper entrance, so
Yep.
yeah. It's been good, man. And then you fucking put Kevin's head in a pike at the end.
Like I said, I would. Yep.
Yep.
It's funny you say all that because, um, personally, I feel like keeping a championship is a lot harder than actually winning one.
Dude. It is. It's so much more difficult because everyone, best of the best, have you in their target now.
Because
Yep.
you don't. I mean, like you don't know who's gonna be your contender or anything. At least when you're hunting for the belt, you know who you got to go through
Yeah.
to get that thing.
Yeah. You can kind of you can prepare. You can kind
Yeah,
of devise a game plan. But when you're the champion, you have to be able to take whatever comes to you, no matter what.
yeah, exactly. And
Hmm.
especially when like some feds, sometimes you won't have a contender till like the go home show of the pay per view or something like that. So
Yep.
you literally have little to no time to prepare.
Yep. And it's again all against you because whoever's the contender knew that they wanted to go for that belt, whether or not they won the contendership, and they kind of knew that you were what they had to get through, like you said before.
Yeah.
You know. But I want to talk a little bit more about kind of your legacy, right, as a pro wrestler, because I think a lot of people, and this is the same for Dewey. A lot of people don't give you guys credit for like everything that you guys have accomplished and kind of brought to the community in itself. You've been doing this for years. Even when I first debuted, like back in late 2013, at NARW, Raheem De Niro's old Fed back then, you were there. Yeah, I remember you coming
Yeah.
out, and you were competing there. You were competing at TNX. I don't know if you know this, Brock, but you were actually my very first one-on-one match. Um,
Really?
yeah, you were. I don't really talk
I feel
about
bad
this
for you then.
because you fucking destroyed me. Yeah, but it was my very very first one-on-one match was at TNX, and it technically wasn't a one-on-one match. I just never got booked because I was a new kid, and you and I were the final two in an FCA. That was for like some kind of number one contendership. I don't remember, and everyone's like, "Uh oh," and then yeah, you fucking dogged on me. Um, and that was the night that Fighter fucking Bomb gave me that oh so special advice that ended up having you and I dislike each other greatly for like years.
Uh huh.
Um, we'll get into that a little bit later, but you yeah, you've been doing this for a very long time. You've won more championships than I even fucking care to count. What for you was like your biggest kind of moments in pro wrestling in general, and like how that I guess pushed you to continue on to this point?
So
Because
like
like you said, you've been here for a while.
basically like milestones or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Hold on, let me give me a minute to think.
Yeah.
So I guess the first Fed that I was in was actually Sonic X Men's original Fed, RWA,
Mm-hmm.
which was before TNX. It was a small Fed, it was like 2011 or something. So we only had like 30 max players back in that day, I think, still. And I was basically the face of that company. For majority of the time, I was like a 10-time RWA champion,
Yep.
which added on to my TNX reigns, which is why I'm like an 18-time world champ because it carries over because it's still technically the same Fed, I guess, just a different name. Um, it started there, but I felt like I wanted more than that, so I actually looked into RWU at the time was the biggest Fed. But I looked up on YouTube. Like I was a little nerd, man. Like I would look up Roblox wrestling on YouTube just to watch,
Mm-hmm.
like see what like creative videos were out there, and there were some. And I saw RWU, and they had like trons and music and shit. I'm like,
Yep.
what the fuck? Is this Roblox still? Like I want to get into that, man. So I tried my hardest to get into there, and man, it was such a pain to get booked there. It took me a few shows, but
Bro.
I finally got booked. Let me think. I think I had like a CM Punk gimmick there because I actually had a CM Punk gimmick in RWA too.
This is like early RW. Like this wasn't when
Yeah,
it blew up, right? Yeah. Okay. I
yeah.
just want to make that clear for everybody watching it.
I was just a
Yeah.
little guy. I wore jeans. I wore a CM Punk shirt with tattoos. I wore a mask. I wore that beautiful brown hair like I always did.
Yeah. You had
I was
the
just
tragedy
myself.
mask back then, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tragedy one. I didn't have a gimmick basically. I was myself for like the longest time, like up until 2014
Yep.
basically. And I kept winning and winning. Eventually, I was 7-0 in RWU. Uh, and he decided to give me an Intercontinental Championship match, and I ended up winning. I was champ for a while, and then up around their like Elimination Chamber pay per view, which was actually called Four Circles of Hell, I lost it
Yep.
in a hardcore Four Circles of Hell match. And then after that, he decided to push me for the World Championship, and I actually won it, and I held that shit for like a year, and then I finally lost it at RWU Mania against Tiny Jason, Tiny Lesnar, Jason Kennedy, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Yeah. He wasn't there that long either, if I'm not mistaken. Like he just kind of died around 2015 at the latest, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But that loss, man, that was a hard loss for me. That was like my first big ass loss,
Yep. And
and
it's at a
it felt
mania.
horrible, man.
It's at a
Little,
fucking mania too.
little kid in me was like, oh, "Fuck, man, what do I do now?"
Yep.
And I decided, you know what? This isn't enough. I want some more. So then I looked, and I would look into like the sports page of the Roblox games. Which, a side note, I don't know why they ever got rid of that update or that feature
I
where
don't
you
know
could
why either, dude.
search games from the
Yeah.
category. That was a big mistake.
That
Now I
was a
can never
huge
find
mistake.
anything good. And then I came across uh, Raheem's Fed, which was NARW,
Yep.
and let me tell you, man, I was not welcome there. Let me tell you, they did not like RWU people. They saw me. He's like, who
Bro,
the fuck
cause
is this guy?
RW people are fucking assholes. I'll fucking rant about them later, cause
Like,
I don't I have nothing nice to say, but that's fucking why. Like they were such dicks back then, and the people at
and they
NERW
treated
knew that.
all these legends, man, treating me like dirt. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And I thought I was wasting my time there, but I came in there. I wore uh, a Brock Lesnar shirt and some sweatpants just cause like why not? And
Yeah,
Raheem actually booked me.
and you were still Ultimate Brock at this
Specific,
time, right?
yeah, I was still
Yeah.
myself pretty much, and he booked me strictly because of my name. That's the only reason I'm pretty sure he booked me was because I had a cool name. I think he said, and I fought. Um, I didn't do too good there because this was when Mouse Lock was introduced, but I
Yep.
was still using WASD because I didn't know how to use that shit.
Yep.
And eventually, I fought someone by the name of Weckless for the United States Championship, I believe.
Yep.
And I gave him a fight, but overall, he whooped my ass because he knew how to mouse lock and I didn't. But he knew that I had potential. So he took me under his wing for a little bit and trained me and showed me how to mouse lock.
Yep.
So that's where I learned the mouse lock from that guy. And eventually, I would start doing a little better, doing a little better. My my big push in that match, I actually made it to the Elimination Chamber pay per view, and that was a horrible experience for me. Let me tell you, there was 7 people in the match, and
Hmm.
I think I was the only like young guy there. Everyone else was like a legend, and
Established.
they've
Like
been there.
they're like from DSF and all these other old head feds.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and basically it didn't end well for me. They were jumping me, but I think the highlight of that match was for me was let me remind you, the chamber was like fucking
Yeah.
tall as
I
shit
was
too,
just
man.
about to say, bro, those old
The
fucking
chambers were
chambers.
tall as
Oh
shit,
my
and
god.
there was like a little, there was a hole in the ceiling.
Bro.
I don't know what I did, but I broke out and escaped the chamber, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" That was like one of the first times anyone has done that before. Which I mean, if you talk about it now, it's like Yeah, okay, you escaped the chamber, so what? Listen, man,
Exactly, but back then it was like, how the
like
fuck did he get out of the
that's a
chamber?
big deal, man. Like you didn't see
Exactly.
people flinging it on purpose all over the
Yeah,
place.
because back then too, like they didn't have doors for those chambers either. You got teleported in, right?
Yeah.
And uh they were fucking huge, and they didn't actually look like chambers. Like most of them were like
Oh,
big
man.
blocks, you know.
They look like a giant bird
Yeah,
cage.
basically, like they didn't fucking look like chambers, bro. They were huge, they were ugly, and it was very, very hard to win because everybody back then had such a high ring IQ, and they would team the fuck out of people.
God, man.
And it was
Yeah,
always one fall too, so that made it so much
yeah.
worse. And if you tie,
That
you're
was
both
so.
out.
It still is one fall for chamber matches, which I fucking hate. I'll
Yeah,
be
we
honest.
didn't do
I
that. We
don't
gave
like it.
lives. Yep.
I would rather have a life system in it, at least
Yep.
two. Like, come on, man. Um. So yeah, I ended up getting jumped by legends, which I mean, looking back at it now, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool actually. I just got jumped by a bunch of legends, and
Yeah, like
I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is
yeah,
bullshit. And
exactly.
there was this one asshole there named Hancock 3. I hated this man's guts.
I
He
think
had
he's
a problem with me for no reason. I think other than me being an RWU guy, he like had the biggest problem with me. But I gotta hand it to him because I think that he is the reason why I am such a good runner. Because that motherfucker was such a pain in the ass to chase when you got him low.
he was at day zero, right?
What?
Hancock 3 was at day zero. He watched your match.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. He came with Perk. He came with Perk and Hall and Mint. They all came together. It was a big group of old heads, bro, and Hancock 3 was one of them.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Um, I'm supposed to be talking about my milestones. I'm basically giving a fucking biography of my career right now.
Do your thing, bro. We're chilling.
After that, there was this man named Shadowleaf, and he also saw potential in me, and he decided to make a stable with me, him, Street Six Boy, and the Iron Guardian. One,
Yeah.
two, three, and we were called Legitimacy, which was
Oh
like,
my
I don't know,
god.
like I guess you could say it's
Bro,
like evolution,
little
but
13-year-old Brock probably thought that was the coolest shit.
I was, man. Like we had our own T-shirts and shit. I'm like, holy fuck, man. I guess you could say that I feel legit now.
Oh
I'll
my
stop.
god. I knew that shit was coming. I fucking knew it.
But we won the tag titles. We won minor titles, and I felt on top of the world, man. Like
Yeah.
this man was showing me the ropes and everything. And then eventually, there was this guy named Yo118Z or Rated X118Z.
Yep.
Eventually he changed his name to that, and he owned a Fed. What the fuck was it called? I don't remember what his Fed was called. It was before OPW, but I was in there for a little bit, and he wanted to recruit me because he also saw potential in me. So I had all these goddamn legends seeing potential in me.
Yep.
So if I didn't like expand, I would have been stuck in RWA, which I mean, obviously it's not a bad thing. I mean, that's like your starting grounds and all that, but I wanted more. So I branched out, which is what a lot of these younger guys should try to do. Unless they don't care, obviously. Then,
Yep.
um,
Excuse
well,
me.
actually, yeah. I mean, I guess it's preference, but basically, I joined there, and once OPW started, this was like 2013 or going into 14 or something like that. I actually my first gimmick was actually Brock Lesnar because I had this guy named RJ the Cool Man. He wanted to be my Paul Heyman. And I with this gimmick, I had like three different Paul Heymans. I had him, I had John Y2J, and somebody else. I don't remember who, but I had three Paul Heymans. And I just want to say that I was Brock Lesnar before Brock Lesnar was Brock Lesnar. And what I mean by that is this man Rated would never let me fight in matches, like unless they were special occasions. He would never make me defend the belt. I was literally Lesnar before Lesnar was. And I was like, at the time, I was like, well, what the fuck, man? This is pretty boring. I got this man talking for me. I'm just standing here. I got a belt. I don't get to defend it. I don't get to fight much. But then I look at it now. I'm like, oh shit, dude. I see why he did
He
that.
did you a
Because
big favor with that, for real. Yeah.
yeah, I look back at it now. I'm like, shit, dude. That just made the belt more prestigious. I think like it only
Yeah,
gets defended a
and
couple
it cemented
times.
you as like a huge star too.
Yeah, and then yeah, I was OPW champion for fucking God knows how long. And then the only reason I lost it was because I think it was the final show. It was gonna be me versus Sonic X Man versus Tony Punk versus
Hmm.
ZC23. But I couldn't go. I couldn't make the show, and it ended up being a triple threat. And Tony Punk ended up winning the match, and that was the last show. So like, I never got a rematch clause or anything. I never got to fight for it again. That
Yep.
was just it. So that was a bummer. Um, and then around this time, the name changes were a thing. They became a thing. Audios were introduced,
Yep.
and I thought, you know what, I need to,
Little
I need
change of
to,
pace.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I started using like a Hollywood Undead inspired gimmick still. I wore jeans, I wore a tank top, I had tattoos, I had a mask, and
Yeah,
all
you
that
kept
shit.
you kept the mask. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That I remember.
I went from being myself to a Lesnar gimmick back to being myself.
Yeah,
And
and you kind of
since
like,
2014.
if I'm not mistaken, this is just how I remember, like just kind of seeing you come out and NARW. You weren't like a Triple H style gimmick yet, but like the kind of
Mm,
early signs of that were slowly starting to get sprinkled in. Because I remember you
yeah.
started using because back then like they didn't have lights back then, but they were tools that like the people could use to like do certain stuff in the arena. And I remember him like giving you like similar pyro or shit to Triple H, and eventually you started using one of his theme songs.
hmm
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, after OPW, WRW by Josh Daniel Rose was the big thing at the time,
Hmm.
and I don't really have much to say about that other than I actually got fired as the world champion, which I don't know if I want to say why, because I feel like there's a lot of soft people out there
Bro, look,
compared
this
to
is like
back
the
then.
one place where you don't have to worry about that, bro. Say what you want to say.
All right, man, if you say so. I was world champ, and I was online dating at the time. like it wasn't like anything nowadays where you actually get to talk to the person in like calls and stuff.
Yeah,
I
no,
met
this is
them.
back when you would fucking go to the club boats or whatever and fucking
Yeah, this
hump
was
on
in my
them. Right?
this was in those days,
Mm.
fuck boy days. There was this girl that I had met from the complex.
Bro, come on, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah,
You
and
fucking deserve to get fired for that shit, bro. You met her at the
nah, man.
fucking complex, bro. Come
Anyway,
on, Brock.
listen, man, that was the thing back in the day.
You fuck that. You had no standards, bro. Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah, she would actually follow me to Roblox wrestling events, Road wrestling events. I don't know why I said Roblox, but Road wrestling events. And I'm like, ah, shit, man. Because back in the day, there was like a lot of trolls, still, man. There was some trolls.
Yeah.
It was like a high note for trolls, actually. I'm like, ah, fuck, man, this ain't gonna go well. And I don't know, Josh Daniel Rose and him, half Drake, and like Miz were like little buddies, and they were like trolls. Like this was
Yep.
when Miz was a straight on troll. I hated this man. I hated this man. Like a little fun fact, him and PG, like two of my best friends. I hated both of their asses when I first met them. Man, I hated both of them.
Yep.
I hated Cena too. Actually, I didn't. You know what? Back up to RWU. This man Cena. I met him for the first time in RWU. This man was such a jackass to
This is
me.
back when he was like Edge 41 Spear, right? Some
Nah,
shit like
man, he
that.
was Cena 54 John. He was a
Already?
jackass
He
to
was
me,
already
dude.
Cena 54 John? I thought he was
Yeah,
still
he was
Edge at that
Cena
time.
54 John. Nah, man, Cena 54 John came before Edge
I
41
thought that
Spear.
Edge was first and then he switched to Cena. Bro, I'm just dumb. I'm dumb. Go
No,
ahead,
no, no.
continue.
It's Cena 54 John. This man was such a jackass to me because this was back when like Skype was a thing,
Yep.
and the Skype crew was like
Yep.
basically anti-Nexus back then with the big
Yep.
crew. And we would bring fear to those FCA matches, which were
Oh,
we
fuck
fucking
you,
tore the
Brock.
shit up. This man got added to the Skype crew, and he said that I sounded like R2D2. That's what he said to me. And
Oh.
this man back in the promos, like we had a feud. Me, him, and Cookies were in a world title feud for Mania, and he would rip into me in these promos. I'm like, this motherfucker is gonna get it. He's gonna get these hands,
He was
man.
always good with that
Like,
mic, bro.
I was about to say, man, you don't know who you're talking to, buddy. And no offense, Cena, but I
He
did whoop
sucked.
you and
He
MM.
sucked back then.
Yeah,
I
man,
tell him
I
this all
whooped
the
both
time,
their
bro.
asses.
He was dog shit back then, bro. Hey,
He was.
Brock, listen. Whatever, continue.
Yeah, man. So him and Cookies actually tried to team me,
Mm.
but I whooped both their asses. I'm sorry, Cena. I'm sorry, man, but I won. But yeah, I didn't like him, and I didn't like Miz.
Yep.
And I was saying they were trolling me basically. They were like taunting me
Yep.
with my fucking Roblox girlfriend, pissing me off. And Josh, his grandmother or something, was being hospitalized at the time.
Yep.
So what I did to get him back was I made a model because back in the day, like if you hated someone,
Brock.
like fuck them by making. Yeah,
Brock.
I know. You can
Hey,
make
you want to
models,
get on me? Really?
man. It's two
Really?
different things.
Oh, okay.
I made a
Bullshit. What's his
model
model?
of me running over his hospitalized grandmother with the car.
Oh my
Which,
god.
listen, man, I know it's really bad if you think about it now, but little old me didn't know any better.
Yeah, you're like 13, 14 years old. Like, I was fucking stupid back then, too.
And yeah, he fired me.
I'm
He
dead.
fired the world champion.
I'm so dead, bro.
Eventually, we made up, and I actually won it back. And I actually got payback on Miz too, because me and him fought. I don't know if it was for the title, but his career was on the line. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And I think somebody screwed him over in the match. I think him and Josh were having problems.
Yep.
And he basically screwed Miz over, so he got fired too, and I
Oh my
got
God.
rehired. So that was something pretty funny.
And Miz back then too, like he kept WASDing for a long time. Like he never really until he came back. Like he was always a WASD guy.
Yeah, he was like up until like later 2016,
Yep.
17, something like that. He made it work though.
Surprisingly, he did. He really did. Like he could fight mouse lock people with it.
Yeah. So now this brings us to, I guess, TNX and VCW and RWU and ORW. Honestly, like these
This
were
is
the
when
big
you
four
and I
feds.
started fucking
And I
beefing.
think RCW was up there too, but I didn't go there till like 2017 or 18.
Yeah, nobody really fucked with RCW until after RWU kind of died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
RWU. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I've done just about everything there.
Yeah, he really, really liked you, Brock.
Oh, I know, man. I was a poster boy.
Yep.
Let's.
You
I
know, he
held the.
refused. He knew about our beef back then. Refused to book me against you.
I mean, he probably did you a favor, but
Look, it's not like you fucking wrecked me every time, right? Eventually, I was able to fight back and got some wins on you.
okay.
Oh my fucking
You say
god!
so.
All right. Literally, the only win that you have over me that fucking mattered was that world title match. That's it. and
Okay,
Super Brawl, but that's fucking bullshit, and you know it.
you know what? We'll get to that in a
Oh yeah,
minute.
we're gonna fucking get to it. All right, buddy. Go
Uh,
ahead.
let's see. I mean, if we're just talking about milestones at this point, I held practically every belt in RWU. At
Literally
that
all of
time,
them.
I was actually a world heavyweight champion and intercontinental champion at the same time. At one point,
Yeah.
I represented Team Smack Blocks for the Proving Grounds pay per view, which is the brand warfare shit. Uh, I went into RWU Mania. I don't think I had the championship.
I don't remember. I
No,
know
I don't
this is
think
like
I had it.
this is about the
But
time you started like really hitting your stride too. Like this is when you started becoming like almost
yeah,
unbeatable.
man.
Yeah.
I won the blocks heavyweight. No, it was world heavyweight. Yeah, world heavyweight championship match. I won the very last one, and people hated my ass for that because of what I did to Dewey in that match too. It was beat
There's a
him.
video of it, isn't there?
There is a video of it. It beat him and KB Orton were the final three, and nothing was happening. So I'm like, listen, man, one of you got to go. It ain't gonna be me. So I actually charged at Cena, and I think I hit him a little bit too. Basically, KB finished him after that, and I got booed the shit out of for
So
doing that.
disrespectful, bro. So
Which is
fucking
why I
disrespectful.
feel like I am like one of the best heels of all
You
time,
are,
man. Like
dude. I'm
I
giving
do
you
some despicable shit,
I'm
dude.
giving you cred. You are like one of the absolute best heels I've
Like
ever seen.
I've done that. There was the thing with Josh's grandmother. In TNX at one point, I was feuding with Awesome Sniper Strike, and for
Yep.
some reason, he was like posting stuff like pictures of him like hunting armadillos and shit. I'm like, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do with this because I didn't like him at the time. He turned into an asshole to
This was
me.
fucked up too, Brock.
I arranged a funeral at TNX for Adam the armadillo, and we we had like Adam's family members
You're,
come.
you're such a piece of shit, Brock.
We had like Adam's mother and Adam's like cousin and
Oh my
Adam's friend's
god.
cousin and shit like that. And the thing was, Adam's a fucking armadillo. Why are there actual people coming out giving a speech? I
Oh
don't know,
my
man.
god.
I did some bad shit back then, man.
You did, bro. You really did.
What the fuck was I talking about?
You were talking about your milestones for
No, no, no. Before I went on with that.
um
Fuck, man.
I don't remember. I genuinely don't
Oh,
remember.
okay, yeah. It was me and KB in the final two,
Yep.
and he actually killed me, but he didn't know that the final two, RCC had the rules changed to first three,
Mhm.
and I basically won, continued to get booed the shit out of,
Yep.
and then all I hear is MMR, Metal Moon Rising, Nemesis Y2J. His theme hit. I'm like, shit, because this man is he was the Money in the Bank holder
And you
at the
were
time.
hurt bad.
I was pretty hurt bad. I was like red or orange or something, and this was the final show, so I kind of had a feeling it was coming, and we fought it out. I ran outside the ring into the corner, and he killed me. But the gods were on my side
He
that night
fucking
because he
tool
tool
stepped,
stepped.
bro. Ah,
He tool stepped, and everyone was
bro.
blowing their goddamn minds. I was still getting booed, I think.
I think he even said too, he was like, well, that's it for me.
Yeah. And I continued to win the match, and I
Yep.
was the final champion. My God, man. Uh,
Yep.
VCW. I had formed the Shield with Miz and PG.
Fucking
Uh,
Brock,
let me
before
pull
you
it up.
continue, let me just say VCW was my favorite Fed, but you made it so hard for me to enjoy it. You really did.
Well, yeah, I had feuds with let's see, a blood feud with you, I would call it,
Oh yeah,
honestly.
that feud was not just VCW, bro. That was everywhere we both went.
I had feuded with KB. We had, goddamn, man, me and KB had some 5-star matches.
Hell
We had
yeah.
fucking. The thing is, like, I beat him, and then we had like a segment or something, and I told him you can have a second shot if you beat Miz and PG in like a TD match or something. And I
Yep.
thought like there's no way he's winning. The Miz, we got Miz for one, and PG. They're 2-on-1 TD match. But little did I know that this motherfucker was one of those people in TD matches that you would not be able to push down. So he was manhandling Miz and PG in the
Yeah,
match.
because back
Ended up
then,
winning. I'm like, fuck,
yeah,
man. I gotta deal with him again.
back then, Roblox physics used actual weight. So like, if you had
Yeah,
heavy
man.
hats on, you
That's
wouldn't
what I'm saying. Like
fling.
people would put on like 10 things on their head.
Yep. And that's why one of
So
my old styles was I would drop all of my hats, so when I used the clean, I floated like really,
oh
really
yeah.
fucking high.
Yeah, that's also one of my dirty tactics. Well, actually we haven't even gotten into that, so I'll save that for a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had false count anywhere matches. At one point we were fighting in front of the arena outside, and we had like the rest of the server like circling us like it's a high school fight or something.
Mhm.
And I ended up winning because I like killed him and I pushed his ragdoll off the map. So I practically killed the man.
Fucking murdered him.
Uh, and at one point, I don't know what went in through Cena's mind or Dewey's mind, but we were fighting, I think, and we both tied. But his ragdoll was on top of mine,
Ah, you
and
fucking let the pin happen.
it looked like a pin, and he counted it as a pin.
Oh
And
my
I'm like, what the fuck?
god.
I wasn't mad because like it was funny, but like why?
Bro, he keeps trying to convince me to do that shit in UXW with our knockout system, and I'm like, fuck no, leave me alone.
God damn, dude. So yeah, there was VCW, TNX. I, 18-time world champion. I had feuds with like Eddie Slayer,
Yeah.
Ken
Born
Rollins,
Kid Lego.
Born Kid Lego,
Yeah.
Flamey the Flame, Hub, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, I won the last. What was it called? I think it is called the Lions Den match. That was the only one I was ever in, and I ended up winning. It was me and Cool Astro in the final two, and I think we were both nervous, but I
Mhm.
think he was more nervous than me
I
because
mean,
this was like
he's
never
facing
been world
Undead
champion.
Brock in his fucking prime. Yeah, and he's never been the world champ,
Never
so
been world champion, and I had beat him. I crushed his dreams. I'm sorry, Richard. I'm sorry, man. Uh, Came last, undisputed champ actually, undisputed champ. There was like I don't even know, like 8 or 10 people in the match. Let's see, there was ORW. That was like just getting up on their feet. The only reason I think it got big in the first place, not because of how well it was actually ran back
yeah.
then, but it was actually running over a VCW time slot,
Yep.
and Cena was not having that shit, so he
Nope.
placed all of us to the ORW arena, and we were like starting a riot, but then they ended up like talking it out, and they became cool with each other, and
Yeah.
we all
It
like
wasn't like
thought,
RW. RW.
yeah, we thought, you know what, let's join this Fed, why not? And me, Sonic, Miz, and PG formed Evolution, which was, my God, one of my favorite stables I've ever been a part of.
Fuck
Holy shit.
that stable too. All right. Fuck you guys, all of you in ORW.
We
Terrible.
were threats, man. Like we held all the belts. This man PG, we managed to get him every single FCA win. This
I remember,
we
and I
literally
remember in
the
one
whole
fucking
server, man.
FCA, you had them all fucking come after me because I was there that
Yeah,
show.
dude, we were convincing, we were manipulating people to join our side, and then we would just fuck them up at the end anyway. But
It's
they would
fucking
always
terrible.
listen for some reason.
It's
So
terrible.
literally, it would be like us four and maybe like one or two goons by our side against the whole server, and we would still find a way to win.
That shit was
Like
fucking
holy
whack.
shit, man. Let's
Bro.
see. I've been Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion at once. The Blocks Heavyweight Championship, that was actually very special to me because of how much of a pain in the ass it was to get it. It was Eddie Slayer who was the champ at the time,
Yep.
and this man was, I would say, it was his prime.
Yeah, because that was
He
around.
was.
We're not in 2016 yet. This is still like 2015, if I'm not
This.
mistaken, right? Around that
No, I
time.
think we're moving on to 17 now.
Really? Because Eddie was like,
Yeah,
oh no, you're right, you're right,
16
you're
or
right, you're right.
17.
Because Eddie, he started getting like real good in 2016.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
started getting good. And he got his prime, and he was like, fucking Jesus Christ, man. This guy was OP as shit.
He was better than Damon was at the time, bro. Like he was
I think he was, yeah.
destroying everybody.
I won a contender for his title, and I think it was the Rumble pay per view or something. And unfortunately, it is on YouTube. Like most of my fucking losses, for some reason, no one
I
wants to
hate it.
post my wins.
Exactly, bro. That's
Nobody
like
wants to post my
that
wins
was
on YouTube.
literally me in MMA. They never wanted to post my huge wins, but always posted when I got shit on.
I want to post my losses, so
It's
I lost to
terrible.
him like 5-2 or 5-3. I actually did put up a fight, but I lost. And then he ended up later doing an open challenge at a regular show, and it would be like force view random or something. Like that's how it was chosen,
Yep.
and it was me. I was chosen, and he whooped my ass because I first of all I wasn't expecting it.
Yep.
And yeah, two, he was just OP. And then um, it was Mania season, and there was like a tournament with like me, K Pharrell, Creative for Life, whatever you want to call him, uh, Ken Rollins, and like some other people. And who was the final two? I think it was either me and Ken or me and Creative for Life. Um, and I ended up winning, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Long story short, I won the tournament. I was the contender for the Blacks Heavyweight Championship. Eddie was the champion. And I was training like a motherfucker for this, man. Like, I had everything ready. I had an entrance planned, which was basically Triple H's WrestleMania 28 entrance,
Yep.
the prop on the stage and stuff. I had introduced the white boots. This is where I debuted the white boots attire. Um, I was just ready, man. I was focused, and I am proud to say that I whooped this man's ass 5-2, 5-2, and he RC'd the next show, and I proceeded to whoop his ass even then. So I took him out of the picture,
Yeah,
basically.
you completely wiped him out from the conversation.
Yeah, I wiped him out, and then Sidearm ended up winning the number one contender match.
Fucking
I
sidearm,
would
bro.
I would not get into this, but I feel like it's important to me at least. This
Yep.
man, is like the Trunks situation or something like that. Well, not even Trunks. It's worse than that. Nobody thought he was gonna win.
Yep.
Nobody thought this man was gonna
Yeah,
win.
sidearm was something else, bro.
Dude's a role play wrestler, for God's sake. What is he gonna do?
Exactly.
We fought, and I was whooping his ass. But every time I was whooping his ass, he would go behind the ring area because there was no barricade or anything. You could go past it, but you weren't supposed to.
Yep.
So every time I was winning, he would go back there, and each time he did it, it would piss me off. So I don't know if that was his strategy or something, but it was working because it was pissing me off, and it threw me off my A game. And he ended up winning because of that shit. And then he tried to pick up the mic and say, "GG, man, I want to shake your hand now, mate. I want to shake your hand now, man." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, you ain't getting nothing but a goddamn shovel in your grave next show." I told him that I was gonna bury him next show, and I think that is actually on YouTube too. I would have to find it, but that match is on YouTube, and that whole little promo I made on him was on it. I told him I was gonna bury him next show, so enjoy it while it lasts. And he was not having that, man. He was angry at that because I didn't like give him like mutual respect. Like, how am I gonna have respect for you after what you just did?
Yep.
So I RC'd, and yes, I whooped his ass. I won my title back. I wiped him out the picture. And then somehow Eddie Slayer got back in the picture, and he won the title back.
Yeah, but you
But
still
that's
won.
not
Yeah,
important.
yeah, that's not important.
That's not
It
important.
I want to talk about it a little. I don't want to go super deep into it because we got pretty fucking personal with each other.
Oh,
But
shit, no.
huh?
Fucking water. I need some water or
Yeah,
something.
I
That
know.
was a lot of
I,
goddamn talking,
I
man.
have some water in my hand right now too, bro.
I like I don't talk much. And
Yeah,
people know that I don't talk much. But holy shit, man.
yeah. So, um, you know, after I lost to you in TNX in my first kind of one-on-one outing. Fighter Palm took me under his wing. Um, and he would train with me all the time. You know, he was kind of helping me devise my own kind of skill set. He was giving me advice on how to kind of bring up my stock. You know, teaching me, helping me kind of learn how to cut a good promo, stuff like that. He was teaching me how to fight dirty because I was still new and I would lose most kind of straight up matches. But you know, it started working. I was doing really, really well for myself.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, he told me, he pulled me aside, and he's like, "Do you really want to know how to make it big?" And obviously, my little ass, I was like 13 at the time. I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "You need to find the biggest, baddest guy and spit in his face." And in my mind, that was Brock. So, um, I think it was in 2014, early 2014, where I made a model because, like Brock said, that's how people called people out back then. Um, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just gonna say that before I go and explain what the model was. Just I apologize. All right, we're cool now. We're friends now. But
Yes.
yeah, back then I made a model of Brock getting fucked in the ass by this girl named Versions who used to go to TNX while he was giving head to PG. Um, and I made it an alt and I posted the link to it everywhere and people thought it was fucking hilarious and it eventually got back to Brock and obviously Brock was not amused. Um, but I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think you confronted me about it. Like you just didn't want to give me the time of day.
Listen,
Um, huh.
that nothing. Just go ahead.
So I started calling Brock out. I started disrespecting him. I'd get on the mic and talk mad shit about him being a bitch and how he wasn't as good as everyone gave him credit for. And it started growing to this thing where, Brock was trying really, really hard not to give me any kind of attention, but I started winning. I started doing all these big things in these different feds that both of us went to, and I'm just like, you can't fucking ignore me forever. And then eventually, I don't know, I couldn't tell you exactly when it snapped, but finally, like, there was a point in time where Brock was like, you want the fucking attention, you got the fucking attention. So, every time it was an FCA, he would immediately come and target me, and we'd be duking it out in the FCAs. He used to fucking send his goons after me. Um, there were times where he would come out in his entrance, even if we weren't fighting each other, and he would just fucking get on the top rope corner. He would stare at me, and he'd do a little point taunt and just fucking walk away. There were times where he would just talk mad shit while I'm competing and it's against somebody else. He'd fucking make fun of me choking or whatever, or tell me that I'm not gonna fucking beat them. Like, we fucking hated each other. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like, we couldn't even be in the same Skype group because we would just go at it. Um, yeah, I know you wanted to say something. What was it? I'm sure it was about the model. Go ahead, Brock.
Nah, man. Just carry on with your bullshit story.
What do you mean bullshit story? What have I said that's a lie so far?
Nah, man. Just go ahead.
What have I lied about?
Nah, man.
You're a fucking dick, Brock. Listen, so um VCW, I started going there, and Dewey hated me. He fucking hated me, and rightfully so, because I was a little shit back then. Um, and one day, and I know Brock is gonna fucking remember this shit because I know it pisses him off when he thinks about it. He wanted to bury me, and I had a habit of, like, my fighting style was very evasive. Like, I never really kind of went up against people. I would run a lot. I would fling a lot. I would do whatever I could do to get away until I can get that one shot in and get the finish because they were all one fall. Um, he wanted to bury me, and he made it a steel cage match because he didn't want me to run anywhere. And lo and fucking behold, my opponent was Brock. And we had fought each other before, and Brock he won like 80% of the time. I'll be honest. Brock used to kick my ass. Um, he sent Brock out, and Brock comes out, and I think, was this before whispers were a thing, Brock? I feel like we had whispers back then. All I know is Brock was talking shit to my face while we were in that cage. He was like, "There's nowhere to run now, boys," and stupid shit like that. And then I ended up beating him. I ended up fucking beating him in the steel cage, and everybody fucking loses their shit. Like, oh, you fucking won. And so a couple weeks later, there was an FCA to determine the number one contender of the World Heavyweight Championship. It was me and Born Kid Lego in the final two. I beat Born Kid Lego. So I went on to be the number one contender. Now, Brock, correct me if I'm wrong. You were not the champion at the time, right? It was somebody else. I think they got stripped.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't
All I know is I didn't know who I would be facing at the Royal Rumble, which was the pay per view that I got my title shot at. Um, because something had happened where either the title was vacant or the champion didn't show. Anyway, I come out. I'm chilling in this ring. I'm getting ready. I'm mentally prepared. I'm envisioning myself winning this championship, holding it up. This is my time to be the guy. I had some problems in RWU because RCC didn't like me. There was some shit there that I'm not gonna get into. ORW I didn't go to because it was just like RWU. TNX I stopped going to because literally all I did was see Brock there. I didn't want to see him. So this was my thing. Like, this was my moment. And then the music hits, right? The fucking Kurt Angle theme plays. And I was like, oh no. My fucking heart dropped. And out comes Brock. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I have to face this guy for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out. And we still fucking hate each other at this point. And, we're over here staring each other down. And we had a long ass match because we tied a couple times, and like I said, I was evasive and I was a dirty fighter, so I would make sure that if I was gonna lose, I would get tripped up so that I either got a trip call or he killed me on the outside, because back then outside calls weren't legal. So I got the first two falls on him. I was feeling good because it was a world title match. It was first to three. I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to win this belt. He only needs three. I need one more. And I don't know what happened, bro. I just started getting really nervous because I was just like, well, fuck. I need one more. I got to get one more. And then I started slipping up. And then Brock caught my game plan. He figured out what I was doing.
Yeah, I tend to do that a lot. I use the first fall as like a test fall.
Yeah, so he ended up losing the two falls, and I only needed one more to win. But Brock had figured out my game plan, so he was chasing me around. He was stopping me from getting the hook on him. He kept getting outside calls on me. We tied a couple times, and it went on for a long time, bro. Like, that was a 25, 30-minute match or some shit. And I fucking lost the world title match 3-2. I choked it. And Brock's over here fucking cheesing the shit out of me for it, bro. He's fucking holding the belt up. He's fucking staring me down with it, saying some shit. I don't even remember exactly what he said because I was just so heartbroken. I left the arena and I'm standing at the stage, and then Dewey's stupid ass decided to get in the fucking mic. And then made a little huh?
Good times.
That's not good times, bro. Fuck it. I'm chilling there, and Dewey was just like, "Oh, Neil, you got so close, but like always, you choked it." And I'm like, I'm so upset, bro. I put everything I had into that match, and of course, Brock had to be the fucking one.
I remember hearing all of this on a thing with Dewey.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking reliving it now because now I'm talking to the fucker who made it happen.
Yeah.
Oh man, bro. And the thing is too, like, I never tell anybody this, but back then, like, I used to wear the comedy mask all the time. The only reason why I started doing that was because Brock wore Tragedy and I was trying to fuck with him.
What the fuck?
That's the only reason why I started doing that, bro.
Fucking ass clown. What's wrong with you, man?
Hey, it became my thing after a while. Like, I became actually known for it. But the only reason why I started doing it was because I was trying to get at you.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I never talk about that.
Why am I learning all this now?
Because I never talk about it. I hated you that much, bro. I really fucking hated you that much. I even started using the fucking beautiful hair for beautiful people and the anime combo because you were doing that shit too. Like, I was literally just trying to be like a polar opposite of you.
You know what, man? You continue with the story. I got a phone call to make.
Who are you fucking calling? Who are you calling?
My mom's calling me. Hold on.
All right, go ahead. Do your thing. So anyway, right? He beat me. And that was the last time that I had a match with him in VCW, because after that I went into the feud with Dewey, which I think I explained before. he had Fighter Palm turn on me, and Fighter Palm was, the dude who was kind of training me. He had my back. He was managing me. He was kind of helping me be the star that I was. But are you back already?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck? Okay. But yeah, I could not stand Brock. I hated him with my entire fucking heart and soul. I fucking
Honestly,
despised him. Huh?
I think you over exaggerated. I didn't do nothing to you.
You didn't. No, I'm being for real. You didn't do a single thing to me. You genuinely did. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I was like such a piece of shit back then, because Brock was actually a very nice guy. And
I was, I still am.
he only started treating me like shit and being a piece of shit to me because I started with him. You know what I mean? Like, he was completely in the right. He was defending himself. Like, that was 100% on me. But I was a stupid little kid. And I took things really far. Um, and I've since I think when I first came back in 2018, first thing I did when I saw you was apologize for that. Yeah, the first thing that Brock said to me when I came back was "Ghost, Ghost, Ghost, you dead,
Yeah, man.
Ghost."
I
But
say that to a lot of people, honestly.
yeah, he does say that to a lot of people. But now obviously Brock and I are cool. He's one of my closest friends, which is funny considering where we were 5, 6, 7 years ago. But yeah, Brock put me through fucking hell. Fast forward to VCW Super Brawl. Are you chuckling? Are you fucking chuckling?
Nah, man.
I thought you were, bro. All right, let's fast forward to VCW Super Brawl. Dewey goes and he announces that Brock and I were going to be facing each other because we were like that little classic VCW feud. And I was just like, I really got to deal with his bullshit again because I know how dirty this guy can be. So I'm training up. I'm doing my thing. I'm working really, really hard because I actually want to win this, because I owe Brock for that title match all those years ago. And,
Yeah.
we're in the match. It's an I Quit match, but it's really just a fancy first to 5. And it was 4-0. 4-0 in my favor. 4 fucking 0. 4 fucking 0. I needed one more. And the fucked up thing is, this time, I wasn't even nervous. This time I was like, I got it. In the bag. He doesn't have shit for me. It's over. And then the bongos came out. Because Dewey made the stipulation that anything goes. Anything you can get your hands on, any kind of dirty strategies you have, you can do it. If you kill someone on a trip, they're out. Like, that's it. So I was being real careful not to get tripped up. I was being real careful not to let him kind of get an upper leg on me. And it was working, 4-0. And then he pulls out the bongos and he starts playing them. And he starts trying to drop them on me in the middle of the match so that my clean switches. And it wasn't working. I'm chasing him. And next thing I know, he gets himself stuck into the wall using the bongos. And he starts flinging around the entire ring area. And I can't fucking touch him. And I'm chasing him. I'm trying to fucking get him to sit still. And in the first fall that he got on me, he got stuck into the wall, waited for me to get close, let it go, and swung on me for his life and got the first fall. And we're over here tying on each other. This match, I think, was longer than the world title match. Like, we were going back and forth.
Yeah.
And he starts flinging and flinging and flinging, and I couldn't touch him. Every time I had him hurt, he would take out the bongos, get stuck, and he'd fling all around the ring area so that I couldn't fucking touch him. And I was so frustrated. I'm like, oh my fucking God, do not let this happen. Please. Please, not now. After all these years, please. Yeah, he reverse swept me.
Yeah, I did.
That match ended 5-4 because of those fucking bongos. And when we talked after, do you know what this little shit said to me? I'm going to expose you, Brock. I'm going to say what you told me and why you decided to go so hard and cheat. I'm going to say it. So, Brock's little Mustang was in the arena that day. And when he got to 4-0, she had like either whispered to him or said something where she was like, "Rest in peace, Brock," and he was like, "Fuck no, I'm not letting that shit happen in front of her." So he started cheating so hard to get the fucking leg up on me. And I told his ass after, I'm like, she's not allowed ever again when we face each other. Ever. Ever. Not fucking allowed. Yeah. But at that point, like, we were close friends by that point. So it was all fun and games afterward. I was like, Brock, you're a fucking cunt. And he's over here laughing his ass off in the call. But yep. That was, you are just something else, Brock. You are something else.
Some good stuff, man.
That was good stuff, bro. So now, we got a little feel for your legacy, kind of our history together, your history as a competitor, and it's all kind of you're obviously in other feds. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, UXW is like this big thing, it's like a main fed, because it's not. We're low key, but we've got our mania coming up. We have homecoming coming up, and your one of your two confirmed opponents is Trunks, who has already beaten you for a title, right?
Yeah.
And you have another opponent. It's either potentially Kevin or Perk. Perk came very close. Kevin has beaten you before. Do you
Yeah.
feel like you're walking into your own title defense as an underdog? And you didn't win at last year's Mania either. So, are you feeling any kind of pressure to perform this time? Are you worried at all about losing your belt?
Um. Honestly, as far as me being the underdog, I feel like I'm the underdog everywhere I go in every single match at this point in my career because
Yep.
I don't know, they don't expect me to do well anymore, and they probably don't think I have anything left in the tank. And
Yep.
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, it's whatever. I know I'm not as good as I used to be or anything like that. I've accepted that,
I don't
but
think that's true. I think you're better than you used to be. I just think that
really,
everybody else is caught up. That's what I think it is. I genuinely think that if you now were to step into the ring with you in 2015, 2016, you would wipe the floor with yourself. The current you would win.
I mean,
I
the thing
genuinely
is,
think that. I really think that you are so much better than you were before. It's just you have a lot of people who there were no such things as sweats back then. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have people spending 13, 14 hours straight in the gym, right? Or
yeah.
using FPS on blockers and stuff like that. So I don't think it's on you, bro. I just think it's a new generation, new competition, and they're going hard.
So you don't think like I got worse? You think that everyone else is just getting
Not
better or
at
something?
all. Yeah, I think that you've kept up and you are much better than you were before. I just think that everyone else has gotten up to your level and further. And even then, like the people who are further up there, like you can still hang. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think that, you're way better than you were before. It's a new set of people. It's a new set of challenges.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's my mindset at times too. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. Like in UXW, I feel like the top dog. I do, but
Yeah.
in a place like ORW where I'm doing absolutely fucking awful for some reason, I can't make out the reason why. But there, I'm definitely an underdog. Honestly, anywhere I go other than UXW, I feel like an underdog.
Yeah, it's also about how
Maybe
you're
that's
booked too.
because I
Like
have the title. Yeah, I know.
I'm not trying to toot my own fucking horn, but I try to stay personal, and do personal booking with everybody that is in the roster. Like if they have any storylines going on, I'm hands off in terms of what they want to do, but I make sure that nobody's making themselves look stupid, or look bad, or just getting thrown in useless matches, and not a lot of other feds do that.
Pretty much, man. I feel I feel good going into this match. I think I have it. I think I got this.
You don't think you have any kind of big threats? Do you think Are you like not at all worried about what Trunks might bring to the table? Are you not at all
Um,
worried about whether or not he might still have your number?
the only thing I'm worried about is if they team on me,
Yeah.
which obviously it's gonna happen if like you're a fall ahead. But I mean like straight up teaming, which I doubt is gonna happen. But I mean, I don't know. I think I got this in the bag.
So let's say hypothetically, and I'm not betting against you because, and no
Yeah.
offense to Trunks and Perk, but I do think that you're gonna be the one to win it. Um, if you were to lose it, what would be next for you? Are you gonna RC immediately? Are you gonna think about going for the freedom again, holding that for a bit? Are you gonna think about maybe challenging Dewey or the winner of the Pure Championship to try and expand your horizons? Like, what is kind of in your mind as to what you want to
Um.
do, hypothetically speaking, if you lose it? Is it time to retire for you? Like, what is it that you want to do after?
See, that's an interesting topic too, because like I said earlier, there are times where I feel like it's probably time for me to go, but I don't want to like sometimes I want to just disappear. I don't want to have like a speech or a last match
Yep.
or anything. I just want to like disappear and no one like notice or something like that. And then sometimes I feel like I'm undead Brock. I probably should like have something to go out with, like leave on a high note. I just don't know what that high note is or when that will be.
Yep.
So as for retiring, sometimes I want to, and sometimes I would rather, leave on a high note or just disappear. But then sometimes I'm just like, nah, man, I gotta keep going. I gotta finish strong. I gotta keep going. I still have what it takes. Um, if I lose, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Not right this moment. I don't.
All
Yeah,
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a fair
Just
answer. I mean, I wouldn't know either.
I'm just gonna scout.
You're being inducted to the Hall of Fame as well. Do you have any idea of what you're gonna say in your speech at all?
Dude. Honestly, man, like before I got inducted into the APRW Hall of Fame, I thought to myself, I am never getting inducted again in anything. It's like I don't feel like I've been in any of these feds long enough. Like APRW, I did not know I was getting inducted. I thought like I wasn't in it long enough. Like I
Yep.
had accomplishments, but I thought I wasn't like, I don't feel like accomplishments by itself is what should bring someone into it.
Yep.
But I guess they saw more than that. Like my dedication, I was pretty active there. I was a part of some big moments there. Um, but yeah, even after that, I thought, all right, this is my last Hall of Fame. That's it. And then here comes UXW inducting me. Like, fuck, man,
Do
shit.
you not
What am
want
I
to be
gonna say?
inducted? Is that what
Yeah,
it's gonna
and
be?
I
Is that
do.
what
It's
it
just like
is?
I do. It's just like I can't say what I said last time now because I thought that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta think of what I'm gonna say. I do. I am proud to be in it, though. I am.
Hey man, we obviously love having you. Like you've been fucking amazing, UXW, and you, Dewey, and Marley. Marley came later, so it was really just you and Dewey. Dewey, I mean, Marley did her part. Don't get me wrong, Marley's great, but you and Dewey specifically like brought a lot of legitimacy to UXW. You know what I mean? Like you two were almost like our Chris Jericho's in AEW. You know what I mean? How everyone's like, oh, Brock and Dewey go there, then it must be a legitimate fed. Like it must be something good.
Yeah.
And you have actually. Let me count because I don't know if you have the most anymore. Let me see. One, two, three, four, uh, five. Yeah, you have 5 Hall of Fame matches right now, and I think that's the most. Either that or Trunks is tied with you. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. Uh, yeah, Trunks is tied with you right now. So
Well,
you two have the most.
if I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I think. I mean, depending how the regular shows go, I think we're gonna be tied still at fucking Wicked Tides. No, no, not Wicked Tide.
Homecoming, yeah,
Homecoming.
homecoming.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're in the same match, but I think we're gonna add one more to that list.
You think that your homecoming match is gonna be Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Hey, let's see, man. I'm excited for it. We've been talking for a while. I know you don't like doing these things, so I just have two last questions for you because
Hey,
it's
man,
part of the same thing.
I'm just worried for the viewers, man. Like, am I talking too much? I
Nah,
hope I'm
bro,
not boring.
you
I
are
hope like
fine. Stop
I hope
fucking.
my nerves aren't
You're
showing.
fine. You're fine, bro. Trust me, you're good. You're good. Some people I have to kind of like force the conversation out of them, but you're not like that, so it's good. So we have our two main events, night one and night two. They're set. So I just kind of want to get your opinion on who you think is gonna win and how you think the match is gonna go down. All right. So the main event of night one is the Mime versus Marley. Both of them are undefeated. It's in a three stages of hell match. Who do you got and why?
Do we know what the three stages are by any
I
chance?
haven't I haven't revealed them yet, but most likely it's gonna be two clean, one TD.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You just said who I think will win.
Who you
Which
think is gonna take it and why you think they're gonna take it? Just kind of break down the match, like just compare the two, stuff like that. Give me your expert opinion, play by play, bullshit, whatever. You know what I fucking mean.
I think that hmm,
Because you voted in the poll that it was Marley, but now I'm kind
yeah,
of forcing you to think about it a little bit.
I think I'm gonna stick with my pick on Marley
hmm
just because like the mime. See, I don't want to say this generic answer, but the mime is only here a few times a year. It feels like so. It's like Marley has what's the word? I don't know if experience is the word, but she's just more active. She's familiar with what to do with herself.
hmm
The mime, I mean, unless the mime's been like stalking her this whole time, watching how she fights,
Well,
then she
yeah,
might
the
be in
mime is at
trouble.
every show. I'm not even saying that it's like a little kayfabe thing, but like
Yeah,
legitimately, she's at every show.
and unless the mime is doing some like underground fucking training or something, then
I can't
I don't
confirm or
know.
deny
We
that,
don't
but
know. We don't know.
yeah,
That's the thing with her, man. We don't know. I'm just gonna go with my gut and say Marley's got this because she's been, you know, pretty unstoppable. As clearly she's undefeated, but
yeah.
I think she's gonna continue it.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. All I'm gonna say is just based on what I've seen, like you're right. The mime doesn't fight nearly as often, but I mean the people that the mime has beaten are no joke. You know what I mean? Like she's especially, I think like her biggest win is against Jess Christ at Homecoming, the
See,
first Homecoming.
yeah, like that's the only match I've seen from her actually. So like, I don't
Really?
have much
Yeah.
experience with her either.
Well,
I don't know.
she's undefeated, and like I said, she's won every single one of them in like dominating fashion. So I that's one of the reasons
Dominating
why.
fashions,
Yeah, like she's swept every single match she's been in.
and all those matches were spread out.
All of them were spread out. Yeah, actually, no, she didn't sweep against Lauren. But it was pretty bad. Like, it was a pretty bad
Uh,
meeting.
Shit, I might lose my bet now. What the fuck?
So I'm not saying that you're wrong. All I'm saying is I think that if anyone can beat the mime, it's Marley, and if anyone can beat Marley, it's the mime. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Either way, someone's losing their fucking streak.
Yeah, and it's I think it's gonna be a good match. I'm excited for it. Um, we have our second main event. You and I talked about this a little bit before we, started recording, but I want you to go deeper into it. Give me your reasons why. Kind of break down the three competitors. Main event of night two. This is to close out Homecoming. You have Dewey. D-Pain is going to be defending his pure championship against Tyrose, who is using his RC, and Jamie Sparta, who won the day zero match. Who do you got and why?
Uh, Honestly, I'm pretty sure I voted for him in the thing. I'm gonna stick with Dewey. I'm gonna stick with him as my answer. Not because he's one of my best friends or anything either. No, he. Okay, first of all, Mr. Jamie, you better be training your goddamn ass off. I've heard some things about you, my man, and you got a lot to prove, my boy. You got a lot to prove.
This is
So
put up
I
or
hope
shut
you
up time for real. Like this is your moment,
yeah,
bro.
man. You are the goddamn underdog. So you got to put on that underdog performance. Um, Ty Rules, he's got a lot to prove too. Honestly, after last year,
Yeah,
he's got a lot to prove.
yeah. He's been undefeated though. Ever since he won the Underground Championship, he hasn't lost a single match.
Well, that's good,
Yeah,
but you better keep that up on the big stage. Because if he doesn't, and he doesn't get his head in place, the same thing is gonna happen last year. And Cena, Dewey, honestly, like he's just like good overall, man. Like I don't feel like he gets in slumps anymore. I feel like he's just always a solid pick, always a solid um, wrestler. He's always solid. So I feel like he's gonna continue to show that. It won't be easy though. It
yep.
will not be easy because, like I said, keeping a championship is a pain in the ass,
It is.
especially if you got
Yep.
two people gunning for it at the same goddamn time. Um, but I think he's gonna pull through.
And this is just a little bit of context for you too. Dewey actually gave a chance to the members of the colony, which Jamie was a part of. And
Yeah,
the show before day zero, he ran a gauntlet against the entire stable and said, if any of you can take me out, then you get the shot. And he beat the entire stable.
yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah. Ty Rules, right? Obviously, Dewey, this is no disrespect to you, Ty Rules, because I think you're a great competitor, but he did dog you at Wicked Ties too. But then he comes back, he wins the Underground Championship. He's defended it 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, and one of them, his hardest defense was against Perk Angle. What I thought would be his hardest defense was against Perk Angle, and he just ran through him like nothing. So
Shit.
it we'll see, man. I'm really excited for that one too. I honestly don't even have a pick. I couldn't tell you who I think is gonna win. Um, but I do agree with you, Jamie. If you're watching this shit, bro, like it's not that I don't believe in you. I do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the match. But you gotta recognize, bro, that this is your moment. You know what I mean? Like this is your shot. These don't come often, and it's your time to put up or shut up. Even if you don't win, like you gotta show people a reason to like make them understand that you belong there.
Yeah,
So give them something. But
yeah.
Brock,
I
bro.
think all
Mhm.
three world title matches are probably gonna reach Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I'm excited for it. Brock, bro, I appreciate you for, coming on and finally doing this fucking interview after like the 50
Yeah,
times that
man.
I've asked you.
I've been asked to do podcasts before, back when they were pretty popular, like
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Never did them. Never done an interview or anything. Like I've been invited to calls and stuff, and been asked questions, and I'll do that, I guess. But I've never done an interview or anything like this before, so it's definitely a new experience. I'm not used to talking this much. I'll tell you
Yep.
that much. Uh, Hopefully, I wasn't boring
I don't
for
think
the
you were,
viewers.
bro. I think
Not
you're
for you,
good.
but for the viewers. And yeah, yeah, that's all.
Did you just fucking kiss? Did you kiss the viewer? Did you kiss the mic?
No, I
I fucking heard you, bro. You're like,
no,
yeah.
I didn't.
That's
That
what
was
I
an accident.
fucking heard.
I'm just lip smacking. That's all.
You're a liar. But for real, I appreciate you, bro. And before we
Dude.
go off, is there anything you want to let people know? Anything you want to say before I cut the recording?
Um, I like to say that no, I got nothing.
Nothing. Not even like a little message
I
for
got
Trunks. A message for Trunks and Kevin and Perk, whoever you face.
nothing. Nah, man, I got nothing.
All right, bro. I'm about to cut it off. Thank you guys for checking it out. Hope you
Yeah,
guys
man.
enjoyed it. I'm gonna try and record some more of these. I actually have like an interview with Marley that I just haven't like edited yet. I have to do that, but now it's kind of outdated since it's like before Blackout. But whatever. We'll get to that. Thank you all. Thank you, Brock. You've been
Yeah,
great. And
hell yeah.